Welcome to Season 2 of the Extra Pass podcast, presented by Chemist Warehouse. I'm your new host, Brad Newley. Ben is now in the director's chair. My co-host, back for Season 2, is Adam Ballinger. Balls, welcome back.
Happy to be back. Shout out to producer Ben over there, who's got a demotion/promotion.
He's already under the pump a little bit.
His pay rate's higher, but he's not on pump. Yeah, he's not on mic.
Pump. Hey, huge guest today. I believe he's now appeared on more episodes than the Extra Pass podcast than any other guest. Huge welcome back to our coach, Dean Vickerman.
Thanks for having me.
Congratulations, Dean.
Yeah. How many is that? 4? 3? 2?
Add that to the trophy case. It's 3, right?
3?
This makes 3, yeah. I think so.
Producer Ben, 2, 3.
3, yes.
Okay, well, maybe we can get some double ups this year to overtake Dino. Dino, huge off-season, mate. Back into the swing of things. The boys are up and about. The soccer's back on. The volume's up. Talk to me what you've been going through in the off-season.
Yeah, huge off-season. Dug in deep on, when you lose in the last game or in the last couple of possessions, it's probably for some clubs it's probably maybe easy to walk away and say we were close and we just need to tinker a little bit. But I thought we did a good job and dug into everything that we didn't do so well. Obviously, did a lot of things right, and we loved that we went until in the grand final series to. Never lose back-to-back games. It just showed a magnificent resilience that this team had and the solution-based problem-solving that we had on the group to, had a poor performance. All right, not unacceptable. Let's turn it around and keep going. And so, fun year, really fun year of coaching. But this off-season, it was, a little bit more about – maintaining being the best defensive team of the year when we put personnel together. And then, about, chemistry as well. Got a lot of returning players and, pretty much out of our top 10 players, everybody's played for us before, which is, pretty exciting. And to see them come back to go through the international campaign with the Olympics and, the things that happened, there with our group and now Delhi arrives back and he's the last piece of the puzzle for us.
Does it feel, because of the way it ended, does it feel like it was to me it feels like it was a long time ago, but I wasn't coaching the game. I wasn't going over every inch of the film.
I was less about 10 kilos.
Yeah. So because the way it ended kind of is so close yet so far away, does it feel like it's like it happened not that long ago, or does it feel like we've had months and months? Yeah,
I think initially the first few months after it, that time, as we were digging in, and that felt, it felt quite long.
Yeah.
And then once we got to that point, it's like, all right, review's done. Yeah. This is the direction that we want to go next year. And, I took a few trips into India and Japan and Vegas. And so, it kind of kept moving with basketball in different circumstances. And so and it's like, we'll come back. We're back into preseason again. So, the second half of preseason went really quickly. The first half, dragged a little bit.
As far as additions go, really like Jack's been with the team before, Marcus has been with the team before. Akesh coming into the lineup. Give us a little bit of a background on him and what you think he brings to the team. Yeah,
Akesh was, someone that really, bobbed up in NBL1 this year, playing for Mount Gambier and, didn't know a whole lot about him until, started to see his performances there. And then it was like, wow, this is the speed for position. He's a quick 5'4", and he's had the luxury of having a lot of centers in practice over the last couple of weeks, and he's been able to slide down to the 4 spot and see his versatility there. But and then he has that stretch 5 component, shoots basketball well, and then been so impressed with the way he's just how quickly he's picked things up so far. So high basketball IQ as well, and there's some work to do with his body to get him, to be perfect NBL shape. But I think he went through it a little bit in Adelaide and changed his body a little bit, and Mount Gambier a little bit more. And so hopefully we can be a finished product for him with his body over this next 12 months. And but I think he's we're going to see him in some pre-season games, and really
I'm excited for that.
Interested to see
like
how
the
he
way
goes.
I spoke to Richard Hill, his coach at Mount Gambier, just recently at the NBL1 Awards, and he spoke really highly of him. So he said to just look after him. That was the only advice he gave to me. So I'll keep him away from St Kilda for a while. We touched a little bit on the Summer League. I mean, you go over there, you obviously had a look at some guys, met with some people. We end up going with Marcus and IC
Not that there's
again.
anything wrong with St Kilda.
No, St Kilda's fine.
It's a great place.
Just certain areas.
I love St Kilda.
I mean, I'll take him to the SP. He can go home. I can hang out for longer. We'll just touch on the Summer League real quick. We went up going Marcus and IC again. How was your trip to Vegas? Did you meet anyone that helped, with where we're going? Was it just you weren't sure with the players you were looking at and you just wanted some familiarity? You touched on keeping the defense the way it is. Just, I guess, going with those guys, it was more of a familiarity thing?
Yeah, no, I think that, the role that we had, those two guys, fitted perfectly in the needs that we wanted. There's always other attributes that you can add, and Marcus, performance plan is about him trying to be Defensive Player of the Year, and that's what he's about. There was always the opportunity to look at, do we need more scoring in that position with Joe leaving and what Ariel gave us as well. But I think once we saw what Rob Lowe can really give us as well.
I think that's someone's not probably getting enough.
Yeah, the compliment of just having the stretch five guy, having the the role defensive guy, and we saw that work really well with Ariel and Rob in the 10 games that they played together last year. So I think we really enjoyed the difference that those two and the coverage difference that teams are going to have to come up against as well. The IC one, we thought he had a magnificent year. Sixth man of the year. There's not many guys that around the world that have done as much as he has, and then to say, yep, bring me off the bench, let me close some games, let me, and just be as professional as he is about it. And, to recruit a guy who might want to go to the NBA, hey, it's going to be a tough sell to say, hey, are you interested in coming off the bench as well, and different things. So, the perfect fit for the role that we have right now with, complement to Delly and Shea especially.
He really embraces being one of the bench guys too. Like he only came in today, and he was just on the sideline doing some Pilates, and he's yelling out to the bench guys, "Go at him! Go Foxy, come on!" Like he's real supportive of I guess the bench squad, and I'm really excited to see him run that again for us this year. Balls. Touch on Travis leaving the team. What are your thoughts heading to the NBA? Dino, where do we sit?
I don't on Travis. Dino's going to know more than I do on that. But my question with the Summer League, after taking the same guys that we had before, do you wish you had that trip back? Because isn't the Summer League kind of a grind, like going to Vegas and watching all those games? And
I feel like
all that time?
he might have had some fun.
Because some people go over there and they're like, man, it's not, it's Vegas, but it's a grind. Is it just all games and meetings, or do you get some time in to go to the Sphere and see the Grateful Dead?
Yeah, no, I didn't get to go to Sphere. I think the Eagles.
Oh, it was the Eagles. That was
Eagles were on.
Yeah. I'm a big Sphere fan.
The 500 plus US. I was like,
was that what it is?
Yeah,
wow.
I spend my money
500 plus
a little differently to that one, but yeah, I did go to. I walked around the Sphere and didn't go inside and didn't see a band there, but. Ultimately, I'd love to go and see a great band there. But for me, Vegas is fun. I think it's been going 20 years. I think I might have gone to 10 summer leagues now, and so there's people that you just catch up with and you network with, and to sit down with a couple of Aussie guys from the Boston Celtics, talk about their journey and just how we can get better. And you have multiple of those kind of catch-ups. So as much as it's a recruiting trip, it also is a connection trip, and just seeing how the world's doing things and catch up with some European coaches as well and talk about basketball. So, I really enjoy the meetings that you have there. I got better over the years to say, I'm just going to watch these 2 or 3 games for the day, and because you can get stuck there and sit there and for 7 or 8 hours eating hot dogs and
Nothing wrong with dogs, right, Paul?
3 foot hot dog for $1.
Yeah, no, I got better at it, and so I really enjoyed it. Nick did an amazing job just setting up different meetings as well for us. And
hasn't it exploded though with Aussies? Like I played in a summer league like 2007 maybe, and it was with myself,
a different beast.
Stacks.
Too,
He was following me around. I think Eddie Palabinskas was like the only other Aussie, and he was trying to get guys to go to Korea. So it's just now it's just like it's a done thing, right? With the NBL clubs, we've just come off the Olympics, the Boomers, and all these kind of the results with them. Tell us about your experience with the program, Dino. You were lucky enough to coach a team that went over to Japan. Give us the rundown on what you thought about that, and ultimately the results that we had just recently in Paris.
Yeah, really fun experience to go to Japan, somewhere I certainly wanted to visit, certainly the country, but, to see what their basketball had done and the coach of the men's program at Japan, took the women's team to a silver and medal, and he switched over to the men's team, and so really interested to see, just their size position. They're so small, but how can you compete on the world stage, and the style of play and the pressure that they have to play with, and how they try and open up 3-point shots. And so I was really interested to see it. We knew that they'd been in a month-long camp, and we had practice and a shoot around to gather all our guys together and see what we could do. And so to come up with a win and a draw was so pleasing. Not only that, these guys performed well on that stage, but to say, they've been coached so well, all through their junior careers and college and everything, and just to take in the information that we gave them and, to be able to put it together and you get to understand what international basketballs are about. You don't get much time to prepare. You need the coaches to be great underneath it. And so I felt really proud of, our programs and what we'd done to develop these kids. And, I think the goal was to take this group over there and say, hey, some of these kids in 4 years have a chance to go to the LA Olympics, and I think that's real.
Pre-season so far, we touched on a little bit. Any standouts for you? People looking good, people might need a little bit of work. Probably won't talk about them too much. We'll leave them. We won't call them out too early. But yeah, what's your feel been so far? Yeah,
I think Shea again had an amazing Olympic qualifier for the Tall Blacks, and
I was worried he might not come back. For sure, there would have been some little agent over there in Greece just giving a little tap on the shoulder.
He played amazing, and I thought the amazing part of it is just he scores so well internationally on that Tall Blacks roster when he's really required to do a little bit more, and he obviously did that with Sandy in the off-season as well. But I think he's just added. It's not, if you cut him off the first time, there's something more that he wants to come back at you,
secondary
and hold
moves.
his dribble a little longer and make an extra move and go and score a little bit more. And so I think that as a feature, his defense in practice has been at a really high level right now. He's pushing himself to get to the best fitness he can. That's been exciting. Kyle Bowen, I thought he really changed his body. Coming out of St. Mary's, they played him as a 5 a lot, and so now to just trim down a little bit, get a little faster, a little stronger, a little quicker, a little bouncier. I think he's going to suit his position.
He's looking pretty confident in his shot too. He looks like he's happy to knock a few down. Like
he's really worked on it. He's got good consistency with his shot right now. So they're the couple of standouts for us.
Is there some coaches do, and no one may do it anymore because of trainers and all that say it's not a good idea, but do you have like a sprint test? There used to be like all these, you come into preseason and it's like, I don't know, you got to run for 3 minutes, like end to end, or like there's a mile thing, or we used to do
29 and 3.
We used to do 22, 22.
You might have been 25 and 3.
No, yeah, well, in college I could run faster than I could by the NBL, but is there any tests? I
think, over the years you've kind of wanted what's the Melbourne United test when they come into preseason, they've got to hit this marker and things. But I think the way that we track them 12 months of the year right now to say, go play NBL1, all our guys were pretty much playing. So when you say, why should you go and try and peak them in preseason? It's like, well, that doesn't make a lot of sense right now. We're keeping it at a really good level. We're going to build up to, pure fitness. So I think our tests this year were, the 20-meter sprint. There wasn't really an endurance one that we put into it, jump height, all the the slide agility and things like that. So, we the 3-minute run, we've done overtime, and I had my nephew do it the other day. He flew down to Sydney for a tryout, and he cooked himself, did 28, and then he couldn't participate in the rest of the program because he was
done. The Aaron Baines.
So, yeah, no, there's no massive test on that one at the moment.
Now, I'm just going to go a little bit off my notes here. I just want to check in with my boy CG. You know, he's had the disappointment of missing out in the Olympics. Have you been able to sit down and have a chat with him at all about his goals and where he's at right now?
Yeah, no, we haven't got through his performance plan yet about, what's the dream now? What's the next motivation for this next phase of his career? So yeah, we'll get to that one, and obviously chatted to him, in depth about, missing out and different things, and how all that process, went for him, and how he copes with it. And it's a tough situation. You've been through it, and I was with you in Sydney when you kind of went through that. And it's when you dream of playing for your country and you miss out, it's going to take some time. It's not one that I don't think you get over really quickly. So I think we've done a good job with him in just letting him making sure his body's right. Just went over to Jock's wedding, and I thought that was really good for him to go do that. And he's bounced back into practice today, and looked really sharp. So we'll build through that one, and it'll be really interesting to talk to him about his goals in basketball now. But he's on a nice 3-year deal. So
I mean, he'd be pretty comfortable with that. I mean, it's a funny situation. Like, you're talking about a guy who's just come off an all-NBL season. He almost won the MVP. It's almost like, what's next, and the Olympic thing can kind of drain you so much. But from my experience personally, it was just, all right, that's done. I can just get stuck into my club ball now, and that's how I kind of treated getting over it. All right, now, our famous section, Balls Fast 5. Are you ready?
Ready? This is Fast 5 with Balls. Been waiting for this the whole time. Now we're on to the fun stuff. Yeah, they're hard-hitting. So
We've waited all off seasons for these questions. Here we go.
So I got to be quick, do I?
Well,
we had a bit of
it's fast 5, but it's
fast
not.
5.
It's not that fast. Producer Ben, do we have any music to lead us into the fast 5 or?
Not as of yet. The music will come.
My God,
Producer Ben. Well,
Can
no
we-
wonder he's over there.
Yeah, can we get any copyrights? Can we come up with our own songs, or like Brad and I were talking about like Rage Against the
A
Machine?
little bit
or,
Enter Sandman.
yes,
just to roll
maybe
into
something.
it.
Would that be expensive?
Can we do that?
If you want to pony up the dough, that's all you.
I reckon we get away with it.
You'll see. I'll call James Hetfield and see what he says. Okay, here we go. Fast 5. So we already talked about your off-season vacation spots. Over all the off-seasons you've had, do you have a favorite vacation spot or an ideal place that you'd want to go for an off-season where you really just want to get away?
Last 2 off seasons, we've had our boys' trip to Noosa, and so guys for been mates for 30 years.
Oh yeah,
heading up
we
to
talked
Noosa.
about this.
Down the surf club.
Yeah,
Fishing?
surf club, fishing. We all get out in the boat and have a fish.
Get down to Hastings, sit in a little coffee shop there.
We
Noosa,
play
I've never
golf.
been to Noosa.
We take the golf clubs, so we get a fish, a golf, and get to the pub and watch a footy game and catch up on old times. So it's been awesome for us just to connect like that.
Easy answer. Okay. All right. Sports movies. Is there a sports movie that you've seen that kind of best depicts what real life basketball coaching is like, or what it's like behind the scenes, or kind of the pressure of being a coach, or the speeches? It doesn't have to be a basketball movie.
You made us all watch one a couple of years ago.
What one's that?
Oh, you watch?
Don't you remember? The Williams sisters movie.
Oh yeah, it's pretty good.
The with Will Smith?
Yep.
Or that
King
was the
Richard.
movie. Yeah, King Richard. I
great
saw
movie.
that too.
Yeah,
great
movie.
Yeah. What comes top
we
of
could
mind?
say that one.
Yeah, I mean, I just jumped in, but
Semi-pro? Have you ever seen that one?
I
with
love
Will
Semi
Smith?
Pro. Yeah, probably
Not
more
too
Coach
realistic.
Carter though, right?
Coach Carter.
Yeah.
There's some stuff in there,
Yeah.
especially growing up in country town. There's a little bit of stuff in that one.
All right. Good answer. Coach Carter. These shoes. I did that. That's from that movie, isn't it? He's talking about his tiny shoes. Like his guys were celebrating every little thing.
Yes.
And then he's like,
with the little
he's
guard.
like, I just tied my shoes. I did that. Okay. That's a quote from the movie. Moving on. Okay. Another important question. All right. When I was playing for the mighty Waikato Pistons, we won a championship there. Long time ago now. It was a pregame meal. We were just on the road somewhere, and you had just gotten back from the movies with it was Tom Abercrombie and you sat down. And you're like, man, we just saw this movie, The Hangover. It's like you got to see it. The Hangover. It's hilarious. That's how long ago it was. I didn't see it right away, but I did see it. You're right. It's a hilarious movie. When's is that the last time you saw The Hangover?
No, definitely not. No. It's had some repeats
Yeah.
at home on a Sunday, nothing on.
Yeah, it's a great one to
put
revisit.
The Hangover back on. So yeah, I don't remember that. Do you know what town we were in?
Nah, I can't. No,
Did
I
you
don't
play
know.
for Dino?
Yeah, we won a
Oh, you know
championship.
that? Is that right?
We were a heck of a team. We were a good team. Waikato Pistons. Yeah.
Laura Cameron,
Tom Abercrombie,
Abercrombie.
Pledger,
Pledger.
Size.
Pookie Linden. Yeah, Mike Fitchett. Yeah, that was fun. Anyways, have you seen 2 and 3?
We won back to back, but we weren't there for the first one.
Oh, they won. Did they win it after us?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
No, they won before us. We came
Before
in. We
us?
were the back to back.
Oh, really?
Well, ours was more important.
Yeah.
Very good.
Have you seen 2 and 3?
Yes.
Yeah. What are your
Yeah.
thoughts?
Love the initial one, second one, third one I love too as well.
Yeah, see, I still love them all. Have you seen it, Brad?
Third one's the giraffe in the car.
Gets decapitated, yeah.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, I'm
stuff.
a fan of all 3. The first one is the
Ticks
best.
all my boxes.
All right, back to a more serious question. All right, so if you're a 15-year-old kid right now and you got your workout you're trying to do, let's say 5 days a week, what skills would you like? If they come to you, they're like, Coach, what should I be working on? Is there a certain move or something you need to have in your bag, as the kids say these days, that you should be working on?
Yeah, and you guys probably work with 15-year-olds a little bit
Yeah.
more than me in
Starting
schools
to,
and
definitely.
different things. But it was interesting. We had some Warriors guys in the other day who do a lot of IQ testing of players around the world, and the number one attribute that they were looking for in these testing was your understanding of spacing. And I think it's probably something that we don't teach enough about, how can you give everybody else space on the floor and find your own space to be able to operate yourself. So, yeah, it's great to have all these moves, but if your teammates are a crowd in your area or you can't find space to be able to operate, so we probably don't, whether that's in 5-on-0, it's tough to do as a skill, yourself, but putting cones around to try and understand spacing a little bit more, and how to cut to create space for others. And so, yeah, it's one they said that, obviously for Steph and Clay's gone and stuff like that now, but how someone to plug into that team had to, the best thing that they could do was understand spacing so these guys could operate as well. So I don't know, that's probably
Spacing.
a different answer.
No, that's
than
a good
My
answer.
answer,
That's a
funny,
good answer.
yeah, that's a great answer. It's probably something I wouldn't have thought of immediately. I probably would have thought of if a kid gets a ball, can he score? Can he break his man down and get to the basket or create his own shot? And I think that's super important these days with the way the game is a little bit ISO-ish. But if you give the kid a ball, can he score? And I think that, to me, that's what I'm trying to teach a little bit with my crew, trying to start a little bit more 5-out kind of spacing, passing and cutting, just a little bit of old school basketball. That's kind of my suggestion to a 15-year-old. It's a little bit different.
I think it's an old man answer, but I try and tell them, like, watch a whole basketball game. I sound old saying this, but watch a whole basketball game. Don't just watch highlights, on TikTok, and that's what everybody sees now, and that's how they ingest the game. Not everybody, but a lot of kids are like seeing all these highlights. Watch a whole basketball game. Watch how the game works. How does the game
how
of
did that
basketball
star
work?
get open? Someone set him a
exactly.
screen.
How does the ball move? Where are the people standing? Yeah, but
See, balls doesn't get off those threes if people don't understand.
Oh yeah,
No.
it takes
how
a
to
team.
space the floor.
For me to be as good as I was, it did take a team. I couldn't do it all on my own.
Very.
All right, last one. Did you watch the Olympics?
I did, loved it. Doesn't matter what time of day it was. You can watch some live stuff, or you can just pick it up whenever time suits you to be able to watch it. Loved it.
In my house, it was firmly fixed on the breakdancing.
Oh, the breakdancing.
You get,
I think
you get a load of ray gun? Anyone get a bit of ray gun?
Back home, yeah. That was I heard she hasn't come back yet.
Well, I'm thinking first throwdown, we get her out half time.
Well,
Roll out the ray
crowd
gun.
would love it, ironically.
Place will go berserk.
If she's going to lean into it, we'd probably love to have her.
I love the Athletes Village though. They got her dance. It looks like
That
she
was
Yeah,
looks
know,
like she
but
was way more
That might have
upbeat in the
been that
village.
might have been better than her actual performance.
Yeah,
I'll leave that
was-
alone. It's controversial, ray gun. She's an Olympic athlete. Balls. Is that Fast Five wrapped up?
Well, I think that's wrapped up. Well, we could still go on, but we do need to end. We could probably go to Fast 10 if we wanted to.
If we wanted to.
Having so much fun, but we'll stop there.
Well, moving on to our news section. Did we have mailbag last year? I'm not sure.
Occasionally we had it.
It's not the mailbag I wanted. I want to bring in voice mailbag. So we play voicemails over our podcast. That might happen in the future. But we've got a question here from Alex. Alex, he has asked, or she, could be she, since you coached in Singapore, would you be keen on seeing an Asian team return to the NBL?
Slingers, bring back the slingers.
The old slingers, the 8-hour roadie.
Yeah, obviously been a little bit of talk about a Japan team or a Philippine team over the years. Would I love to see it for, the travel? The Singapore road trips coming to Melbourne were a tough one, but
It was fun to go
I think everybody enjoyed going to Singapore for
they
that little
had to
period
do
of
it.
time.
They had to do
being
it all
on
the
this
time.
side of the fence,
Yeah.
I think having a team in to go to Japan or to understand their culture a little bit more, or see that kind of growth in our league back into Asia is pretty exciting. But yeah, before that, I know that Tasmania are playing a bit of a Champions League kind of thing. In pre-season and playing that kind of thing. So I think, I've always enjoyed the cups of Europe. And, is there something,
awesome.
That Australia or our elite NBL teams have the opportunity by, being a top 4 team or being a top 2 team that can compete in some kind of cup with the Asians as well. So, yeah, certainly not against having expansion of the league into Asia.
Well, that's our mailbag section for today. I'm sure more and more will keep coming through our comments. Dean, thanks for taking out the most frequent guest here at the Extra Pass, brought to you by Chemist Warehouse. Great to have you.
That frequent flyer miles are up. And, enjoyed it. Thanks for having me.
Balls, we've shaken off the rust. Good to be back.
Yeah, it's great to be back. Great to be back. It's a rush.
Well, that's a wrap, guys. That's the Extra Pass podcast presented by Chemist Warehouse.